Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor, and I'm going to do this one hatless, right? I get emails, texts, and they're like, hey, why do you always wear a hat? And I kiddingly, facetiously say, well, I am male pattern baldness, I'm vain, and I don't want people to see me this way. So here I am. This is it. All right. I started going bald. Actually, in my 20s, I started to get a receding hairline. So it's really not that bad now. I actually have a spot back here, bald spot, and it's like you have this. But I tell you what, I got bigger fish to fry. Going bald. By the way, I see I'm wearing my lensless left eye here. Maybe I should put this on instead. I wear contacts, and I'm not going to get into that. That's boring. Okay, so let me do this. How's that? Okay. Okay, so I started going bald. My hair started receding when I was, I guess, 18, 19 years old. And so I graduated high school in 81. So we're talking 82, 83. And back then, bald was not in, right? It was awful. You would not get a girlfriend if you were bald. Or so people thought, anyway. When you were young, you're stupid, of course. You'd be able to if you were an awesome guy and you were handsome and nice and charming. But that's how stupid you are when you're a young man. Having hair was so important. And by the way, I was really into music at the time, late teens, early 20s. It was, I was into heavy metal. I mean, I loved it, and all the hair bands. And by the way, FYI, most of those metal guys, that was all the plugs and extensions and all that. It was kind of weird, right? You had these guys who looked like girls and all that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So it was definitely not cool to not have hair. And it was it was a horrible fear and dread, thinking that, oh my God, I'm going to lose my hair. And this is how crazy the thinking was back time. Like, oh, I am going to lose my hair, and no girl or woman, whatever, is ever going to date me. So I'm going to end up a bachelor. All this time and effort and going to school and getting a good job, and all this is meaningless because I don't have hair. Follicley challenge. That's how silly and crazy people are. So anyway, and I went through the whole thing. I was going haircut for men and all these infomercials, and this got way, and I got continually, over the years, it just got a little more and more. And it was a real big deal for me, I was thinking, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do, all the way up to like 25, 26, and then you realize, like, who gives a flying fuck? And now, as we know, bald is in. Bald has been vogue for like more than a decade, like more. I think ever since like the UFC, like in the 90s, and everyone started shaving their head, and these guys are badass and all this. It's all trend. Trends are weird, It's like what is beauty? It's just all this sort of thing that we agree on. I know there's an actual, people know about the Fibonacci number and balance. Like if you look at someone's face, there is a ratio between your eye and nose, and like, if you look at my face, I have kind of a block. People used to call me blockhead. I do have a kind of a square jaw, and then if you look, there is sort of a ratio, if you will, right? There's symmetry, some sort of symmetry, but not perfect symmetry. There are many books, you could go on the internet about that Fibonacci ratio and what is beauty and all that. But really, it really is the truth that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Great episode if you haven't seen the Twilight Zone. I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan. Older Twilight Zone from like 1960. Eye of the beholder, right? So it really is true. Is there such a thing as objective beauty? And like I said, the Fibonacci number, sort of, whatever. But really, it comes down to trends. Hey, let's go, to kind of put this aside, the male pattern baldness. What about women with the large round ass, right? So when I was growing up, someone with a fat, like Kim Kardashian, we would say fat ass, big ugly grotesque fat ass. Quite frankly, I think her ass is too big too. Even Jennifer Lopez, it's just too big for my taste. Anyway, who the hell am I though? But anyway, back then it was perception. It was women didn't have asses. They had the nice hourglass and all that, but anyone with a black ass was like, oh, wasn't attractive at all. So now women are getting ass implants. This is a thing of beauty. And you know what it is? All it takes is some sort of big celebrity who's confident with their body. That's all it is. And we're like sheep. We follow. It's trends. There's a whole the psychology of how trends start and all that. There are many, many books about this, but it is so interesting. And really when you think about it, and this is especially applies with younger people, like the younger girls getting ass implants and something, it's ridiculous sometimes. I mean, if you see some of these photos, it's like, listen, I know there's no such thing really as objective beauty, but man, your fucking ass is huge, you know? All right. So, okay, I think that's interesting. I'll kind of leave it here. So what do you think? Should I keep my hat off? Should I fuck the vanity? Whatever. No, what's funny? When I was 20, it was just I would sleepless nights. It was crush. I'm never gonna get married. No one's ever gonna date me, and like life is falling apart. And like obviously, my age, I could care like nobody gives a shit about whether or not you have hair. Okay, all right. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.